Hi guys, back again with me Austin from Above Where Heart. Today I'm going to share with you my experience on Hasbro Star Wars, the Vintage Collection 3 and 3/4 inch or the 1/18 scale. There are two figures here. First one is from the Star Wars Rogue One Scariff Stormtrooper, and the other one is the Imperial Assault Tank Driver, also from Star Wars Rogue One. Okay, now this is the usual carded packaging of the Vintage Collection line, with the artwork at the front, the open window, right, and the name, and yeah, this is the base of the movie. Okay, canner, so the vintage style of packaging. This Scariff Trooper is VC133, right? So if you are into collecting, okay, I think that's probably important. And this one is also nice. It's also has the photo from probably the scene. Okay, and then open window, not open, I mean it's visible here at the front, and at the back it is numbered VC126. Okay, and yeah, this is the other lines, figure from the line. Now for the most part I'll probably focus on the tank driver. They do release the tank, by the way, which I'll hope to share with you in the near future. Okay, but today I'll just cover the driver first here. The Scariff Trooper seems to be straight repack. Okay, because if you have been following my channel, I actually, like a couple years ago, okay, have shared to you this one. This one is a Black Series 3 and 3/4 inch. At that time they have this, and then they return back to the TVC packaging, right? And it seems to me it's very similar. We'll see the difference. What is there any improvement, right? Some of the characters that's being re-released with the Vintage Collection packaging normally has photorial tag, but since this one is just a character with the helmet, soldier, with the helmet as the head, so probably nothing much, but we'll still have a look at it. Okay, we'll see what are the improvement they have made, or is there any changes. Is it still okay to get this one? Well, we'll see about that. Okay, right, so this, yeah, it's I check again, it's like 2016 on the packaging, so it's quite long. All right, so without further ado, let's have a look at these two figures, shall we? So we'll start with VC133, which is the Scariff Stormtrooper. If you have watched the movie Rogue One, then this kind of a special Stormtrooper which are based on Scariff, okay, one of the Imperial base. All right, of course, well, by this you should have understand that, you know, in Star Wars movie they often introduce newer form of stormtroopers, probably to sell more toys, which is kind of, you know, part of the business, which, you know, at this point we all understand, I guess. But as long as it's cool, why not, right? And actually, personally, I myself like the design. I really like Rogue One, to be fair with you, and probably I'm kind of biased in this. So yeah, so without further ado, so this is the, on the right is the one from the Vintage Collection. Please keep that in mind. Now I'll bring the Black Series version, which I've shared long ago, and yeah, we'll see if there are any differences between the two. Now at a glance, I'm pretty sure, and I think you'll agree, that these two are pretty much the same, or I would say this is based on this with a little bit of touch here and there. Maybe let's just have a look at the backpack here. Also, as you can see, pretty similar, isn't it? So yeah, I would say it's quite a repack, right? But on the Vintage Collection one, they add a little bit of touch. Well, if I can point out some of the differences which are maybe the similarities first. Okay, I like the fact that, you know, these two troopers, Scariff. You know, Scariff is a beautiful island, sorry, beautiful planet with island vibe. Well, not that's not the word, but a lot of they got a lot of coastal area with a lot of sands, and you know that explain the colorway here. All right, is kind of sandy, right? But they also give all the weathering, which are not acid rain heavy, but still you see all the black patches here and there, right? You see all these black marks, right? And they still keep that with the vintage collection line, so that's good. All right, and while the black mark on the helmet on both are not the best, as you can see, the vintage collection one is actually not better even. It's kind of thinner compared to this, but this one is like it's not super neat in that regard. Okay, probably not really visible, but see this black part of the visor there. Okay, now the red mark on the helmet, this one is closer to the tip, closer to the edge like that. Is that the right language? Well, whereas this one, there's a bit of is this a gap? Yeah, a bit of a gap on this side, and this one there's a bit of black touch here, whereas this one the black touch only until this area and not to the top area here. So that's very minor. Okay, and then I notice in this part of the torso, so this is the vintage collection line, the line here is thinner compared to the one here. Okay, which one is the more accurate? I'm not sure. I really have to check. Okay, but it appears to me, I mean, if you ask me to compare, I like this better. Okay, it's neat, it's more neat compared to these. You know, it's like a scratch instead of a feature. It's more like a scratch to me, as you can see, right? Isn't it so? Right, so this one is better. I'm not sure whether this is only in my figure, so I'm sorry about that. Okay, sometimes it happens. Okay, with this, one noticeable difference is in the gap in this kind of skirt piece slash belt here. Okay, on the vintage collection line, this color is brown. Okay, there's a bit of brown marks in the gap here, whereas on the black series, the gap here has kind of a darker brown. Okay, a darker brown in this gap. All right. What I like with the vintage collection line is actually on this kind of leather pocket or something. Okay, with small buttons, something like that. All right. You see, the mold is very much the same, but the color here, this one is like an old leather. This one is like a polished leather. It's a bit more shiny, and you see the details on the small little buttons is more apparent on the vintage collection line. Now I couldn't remember whether they have it on the black series and then along the way, because you know it's been 5 years now, more than 5 years probably. Then the chromey gold is gone with time. I don't think so. So they actually add a little bit of gold marks on the dots there on the buttons. Okay, and that's appreciated. Okay, but everything else is pretty much the same. See the shin guard. Okay, I mean not exactly similar. The mold is similar, but the paintwork is close. Of course, there are probably differences here and there with the, for example, with the dust marks here on the shin guard. So it's not 100% the same, of course, but which is great. Okay, so that means we have sort of variety. Okay, so what else? Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Okay, so how about let's just focus on the newer one. Okay, just a quick look here. I actually like, I don't know, the black mark on the Black Series seems better to me, but that's just me personally. Okay, the red dot is just like that. Okay. I like the design actually. Okay. So we have a white mark here, we have red here. Okay. Everything else is sandy. The darker brown here on the pan, shin guard, sandy, and then at the back here. Okay. Of course, there's supposed to be another version that is, cannot remember whether they have it on this scale, but on the bigger scale, I think they have it. Like the officer might have a certain marks that this doesn't have. Okay, so yeah, it's a pretty basic soldier. If you love Scariff Trooper, it's a good trooper to do army building. Okay, the figure is quite solid. It's pretty simple, but do the job. Okay, see that little dot there is a bit shiny gold, whereas the Black Series one, no, there is no shiny. There's a bit of touch there on the dot, but this one is more shiny. So yeah, kind of gold there. And I really I appreciate that. Okay, so yeah, that's with the figure itself. For the articulation, the head is on a ball joint. I think it's the same articulation, but I'll do it anyway. So look down that much, look up not so much. The head is this helmet is the head, so there's no head underneath. I mean, see there, the neck joint is there. So you have full rotation, kind of a bit side to side. So the arm have full rotation, and then you can somewhat use the hinge. And it's good to see that this shoulder actually can go slide to the gap there. Let's see this one. Yes, as you can see. So yeah, you can use the hinge to move like that, and then maybe to the back is a bit hindered, but we'll see. Okay, I'm trying to put the shoulder pad inside the kind of the hole there. Seems to work, but yeah, it's a bit tricky. But you know the hinge is there. Okay, it's always there. The elbow, and then you have rotation, and you have rotation on the wrist. And if I remember it correctly, yes, there is small hinge. Okay, let's see this side. Okay, this is a good one. This is a good combination. I'll try to do a shooting position. This one is a trigger palm, as you can see. It's a ball joint on this torso. You can to the back, to the front, full rotation. Okay, a bit side to side. Now this is the tricky part with the legs. The articulation is there. It's already the modern version, but this skirt piece is quite rigid. Okay, so it might frustrate you a little bit. I like the wrinkles, by the way. Ooh, look at that, right? Hasbro is really good at this. So it's basically on the thigh there to the pelvis, it has a ball joint. Okay, so it connects to, okay, maybe try like this. So you see that big hinge, it connects to the pelvis as a joint, so you can actually rotate this area. So you can rotate and you can see the hinge is actually rotating. Okay, and then you can use the hinge to do split like this, so you can do somewhat open leg position. Okay, and if you want to do a front kick, you just rotate and then use the hinge, use that big hinge to kick to the front. Of course, then you tell me, how can you kick like this? Of course, then you need to rotate this. Okay, rotate the what do you call this? Rotate the knee. Okay, of course that's yeah. So if you want to do back kick, same. Okay. You just need to use that hinge. It's a little bit hindered, but yeah, it is there. Okay, it is there. Okay, anyway, but up there there's also rotation. I'm trying to hold the hinge. Okay, as you can see, so the part that connects to the pelvis stay, but okay, no, it moves. But the one below rotates. Okay, see those markings, right? All right. So normally, I think the default position for me for this particular figure, yeah, the big hinge, I always put it on the side to do side by side like this on the default. So that's the default for this figure. If you have watched my video on Chirrut Imwe, it's a better, it's the same mechanism, but I don't know why something is easier to manipulate. It's probably because of this skirt piece, which is too rigid for me. But that's okay. So you know you have rotation there. Then you have this knee, and you have rotation on the knee. It's not 90 degrees, unfortunately. Now this one doesn't, I don't think this one have, does it have rocker angle? No, but this one have rotation, this one has downward, upward that much, yeah. So this one is still the era before rocker angle. Alright, I'll make it easier for you. This is the standard blaster that also being used by Stormtrooper. This is the vintage collection VC133 version. Okay, it has trigger hole there. It is somewhat rubbery. Now let me compare it to the Black Series version. Okay, size wise, mold wise, I think they reuse it as well, but the paint is a little bit different, as you can see. Now the Black Series one is adequate. It is actually kind of a dark brown with a little bit of, I don't know, shiny touch here and there, it seems. But this one is more integrate, a little bit of silver, kind of, well, I'm not really good with painting, but it seems to me they do kind of probably dry brushing with silver, dry brushing with this one. Well, basically this one is more low profile, this one is a bit more shiny, a little bit more intricate, okay, but it's pretty much the same. Alright, as you can see here. Okay, so yeah, maybe the other side if you want to see. Okay, so it's pretty much the same thing. Of course, with the lighter color scheme like this, you can appreciate more detail because it's more visible, yeah. So it's much cooler on the vintage collection one, and you can always use it on the figure. Of course, you can use it with the right palm because it's the trigger palm. Okay, I'll make sure. Okay, so the trigger is in the trigger hole, as you can see, and yep, it holds quite well actually. Now with the articulation provided, unfortunately this is not Joy Toy, so yeah, but at the very least you can do somewhat two-handed holding position or shooting position like this. Well, it is not a sniping pose per se, but at least it can do a shooting position. So if you want to do photography, you know, squad photography, patrolling, it's somewhat adequate. Okay. Alright, next is VC133, the Imperial Assault Tank Driver. Alright, so it's actually, this guy is in one of the scene driving the tank. I mentioned earlier I'll try my best to show you the tank in the future, hopefully in the near future, because we need this guy to ride on it. Anyway, if you see the design of the helmet, it's very similar, kind of similar to the Scariff Trooper, and also kind of similar to the Death Trooper, which is kind of understandable. They were all part of the Rogue One. Okay, was shown and displayed through, showcased through that movie. Okay. Anyway, this guy is mostly white on the suit here. Okay, so the helmet is different. The shape is similar to the Scariff, but yeah, it's different, and it's actually, I mean, toy wise here, figure wise here, is more neat. Okay, all right, yeah, that's interesting. And what I like is small little details like that. Plus, if you notice all across these white parts, right, it all has weathered, sand weathered, as you can see here, here, and I really like that. Okay, really like it. He was driving that tank in Jeddah and then was attacked by Saw Gerrera's partisans. Oh, by the way, speaking of Saw Gerrera, we really need the partisans in the vintage collection line, right? Don't you think so? I do believe so. Now, bottom part here, I think is pretty much what we have with Scariff. Okay. This is the Black Series version, by the way. As you can see, is mold-wise pretty similar. It's the same, I would say. Okay, and the difference is on this area, it doesn't have that skirt piece. Instead, it has something like this. It's soft, thankfully soft. Something that normally a Stormtrooper have. Okay, everything else is pretty similar. Even this piece here. Okay, but they don't have these red markings. They don't have these white markings. Okay, everything is similar or the same, I would say. Has black touch here, even this part, right? You see, now this one is better than my vintage collection version. You see, my vintage collection Scariff here, I don't know with that dent. Okay, this one is better to me, right? And the right palm is still trigger palm, and this one is a gripping palm. Okay. The backpack seems a little bit different, but we have to check. It's the same, isn't it? It's pretty much the same. Probably the difference is, yeah, the skirt piece, and then they don't have that kind of brown small pocket there. I'm not sure what is that. And yeah, and no skirt piece. Okay. So this is a good example of a figure to show the awkwardness of the articulation with this Star Wars figures. Okay, and you know what? This figure need to be able to sit. So yeah, that's the challenge. But let's just appreciate a little bit more on this figure again. Wow, I really like that. This is something that we normally have with the Sand Trooper, but instead we have it with this guy. Okay, how cool is that? Really like it. Okay, for this articulation, the head is on a ball joint. You can look down that much only. Look up also limited. Bit side to side, but you have full rotation. Then you have the full rotation on the arm here. Okay. And of course there's a hinge. All right. Okay, kind of clicking a little bit, and yeah, I like that the shoulder rests just below that, so there's a bit of a gap, but that's the extent of the hinge. Let's try it backward. Alright, it's kind of hindered because the secret is you have to make sure the shoulder pad is inside the hole, and you can try to rotate to the back if you can. Yep, you see now it's a different position now, right? The shoulder pad is actually under this gap area. Okay, so that's how you do this. Okay, like this from the front view. Well, that's just, yeah. Anyway, rotation, you have the hinge. Okay, you have elbow bend. Okay, this much. Okay, rotation, the wrist rotation. Let me see where the hinges. This one is it? Yep. So downward, upward. This one, downward, upward. So it's the same with the Scariff Trooper. Okay, same with Scariff. Okay, on the torso here, to the front that much, to the back that much, side to side, full rotation. Finally, we come to the leg. Okay, now here's the, I think, well, I'm not sure after Chirrut Inway, but Chirrut Inway is kind of the standard for me personally, for vintage collection line to do the articulation. I think that's how they're supposed to do it. It's actually the same principle, but I don't know, there's something with that Chirrut Inway figure that makes it so easy to pose. Okay, it's actually the same mechanism. But yeah, this one is a bit awkward. You see, so there's a big hinge, okay, which allow you to split. So see, the split is very easy because it doesn't have the skirt piece. Okay, let me see the other side. Okay, see this split, and then you see down here, you see the big hinge. It connects to the pelvis. Now, if you want to do a front kick because you want your figure to sit down, you have to rotate. So you can rotate, you see, the whole thing rotates, right? Okay, rotate. Okay, you have to rotate a little bit to find where the hinge is facing. Let's say you want to do a front kick, you have to make sure the hinge is to the front. Do a front kick like this. Yes, it is awkward, but then you have to rotate here. Okay, so you combine those two, and maybe you bend the knee like that. Okay, let me try with the other one. Okay, like that, and then I rotate, and yeah. Now I haven't opened the tank yet. I don't know whether this figure will be able to sit with this position, because you see the knee bend is not the best. This is also the problem with Scariff. Okay, Scariff also doesn't, the range of the knee is shameful. Really, by the way, since we are covering the knee, we have rotation on the knee. But yeah, I just want to share to you that. So you have to manipulate, but before we go through, don't forget there's a gap on the thigh with that joint. Let me try to hold it. So if I hold that, see the hinge doesn't move, but this part move. Okay, where is it? Okay, probably easier like this. Okay, I'll put it into the sitting position, but then I can rotate this one. Okay, I can rotate this. See, the hinge remain, but the rest move. Okay, so yeah, all right. And of course, since it's the same one with Scariff anyway, Oh, look at that sense, right? You only have rotation, you don't have rocker ankle, shame, right? Downward and upward. Accessory wise, this tank driver has one blaster. This is also the same one with the Scariff Trooper. Okay, it's quite rubbery as well, and the paint is lacking. It's just plain was. I think, well, that's normally what we have, but I don't know, Hasbro, if you can do this, why not do that with this one as well? Right, it's a little bit better here, a bit more touches. But yeah, this is compared to the Black Series Scariff Trooper. The Black Series is more blackish, darkish compared to this. This is more like a plain gray, which is boring. This is slightly better for me. Alright, anyway, as long as it works. Rubbery, okay, which is fine. So we'll try to put it on him. You can. The trigger hole is very big, by the way. So yeah, you can slide the trigger finger into the trigger hole, and it holds really nice. Actually, the position of the hinge is good for shooting precision. You need that hinge there. You need that hinge there, but what this figure is lacking, what the Scariff figure is lacking compared to Joy Toy, which is very good for sniping pose, is the range of the elbow band. Okay, if only they have better elbow band, they will be able to do a good sniping pose. Alright, so but yeah, that's not too bad. Okay, right, that's not too bad. Alright, let's measure the Scariff Trooper first. Of course, this is a bit tricky doing it like this. It may not represent the actual height, okay, and also depends on how you stand it up with the articulation. But with this measurement, it stands roughly, I think, just shy 4-inch scale or probably around 10.1, 10.2 centimeters, right? Around that. Whereas the tank driver, which I need to straighten the leg first to make this as objective as possible. I'm trying. Okay, stands roughly almost similar. Well, the body is quite similar. So here's side by side with several line. Okay, I have acid rain here. Interestingly, the height is not that much difference. Normally, acid rain is quite taller. And then I have Marvel Universe Iron Man here. Who knows when they will restart this line in the future? Not in the near future, I guess. I have G.I. Joe here, and we have Joy Toy, and Joy Toy is normally a little bit bigger than this Star Wars. Okay, probably because of the helmet. This character seems a bit tall and seems to be slightly on par, but normally Star Wars is a bit shorter. That's the normal. Okay, maybe make it better comparison with Joy Toy. So look at this. This character. The helmet itself is quite big. So, but if you look at this World War II American soldier, and you notice the position of the shoulder, right, and the head, yes, they are slightly taller. Okay, and even the more if you use this figure, this lady figure is quite tall as well. So yeah, that's just a bit comparison for fun, I guess. Alright, so this is side by side with the other Rogue One articulated figure in this scale. I have the two Black Series. Okay, this was my initial figures in Star Wars collecting. These are not TVC but has been repackaged as TVC. Okay, I have TVC K2SO and then Chirrut Imwe TVC as well. This Death Trooper is not from TVC, this is also from the Black Series, so around the same time with these two and then with the Scariff Trooper. Alright. Well, if you ask me, will I purchase the TVC version of these two guys? Probably yes, just because of the photoreal. Okay, but not sure. I'm still considering it because I'm thinking whether my budget will have to be used for other figure, newer figure or other figure line as well. But we'll see. I'll be open to that. But for the Death Trooper, as you can see, it's pretty much the same Death Trooper with this one. Probably similar case with this Scariff Trooper. A bit of touches here and there. Maybe a better paint app on the blaster as well. But we'll see where I'll get one of them. Okay. So I'm still missing more figures here. Obviously, I have yet to show to you the Stormtrooper in Rogue One, Antok Merrick, and probably his X-Wing as well. Who knows, they'll release the other character in TVC version as well. We have Chirrut probably will have base and we'll have Bodhi as well, right? So yeah. I'm still hoping for Saul Guerrera's Partisan as well in TVC, if possible, but who knows in the next years, right? Now, if you ask me, is it worth it to buy another Scariff Trooper? Which, yes, there are quite a bit of differences, but the basic is pretty much the same. Okay, I mean, for the tank driver, if you have the tank, then surely you need him, right? But how about the Scariff Trooper? Okay, depends. Do you want to do an army building, right? In my case, I actually kind of army building the Death Trooper myself. That's why I'm not considering to buy another Death Trooper for the TVC release. But the Scariff, I don't mind to buy another one because this is the only one that I have all this time. So I thought, okay, I'll just add another one. Okay, at least two troopers. That's normally what I do. Okay, at least I will have two troopers each. Okay, but for the Death Trooper, probably not for my case. So yeah, it depends on you. It is a better. The marking is placed a bit different, and it has more improvement on some paint app on the pockets, on the blaster. So yeah, please get the newer one. Sometimes the good thing with reissue or repackage figures is that you can catch up to collections that you missed, and I think that's good for collectors, right? Okay. So yeah, thanks guys for watching until the end. If you like this video, please like, subscribe and share, and don't forget to switch on your notification bell for more video updates. Ciao.